Welcome back to another edition of Beyond Skyrim, The Books of Bruma. In today's edition, we will be going over the Scripture of St. Martin, Volumes 1 and 2. The Scripture of St. Martin, Volume 1, The Life of St. Martin. A text written on behalf of the Church of St. Martin by High Priest Neremus Agresian. Forward. I bid you humble welcome, dear reader, as you read this text and begin your journey into the life of St. Martin Septim. The Scripture of St. Martin is divided into two distinct volumes. Volume 1, The Life of St. Martin, and Volume 2, Teachings of the Church. I bid you study each of these separate portions of the text carefully to aid you in the spiritual journey upon which you are about to embark. This, the first volume of the Scripture, retells the thrilling and sobering life led by Martin Septim, leading up to his rise to sainthood, and his critically important background enabling followers of St. Martin to understand the context from which its teachings are born. I thank and commend you for your interest in the teachings of St. Martin. High Priest Neremus Agresian. The Life of St. Martin Septim. The life of St. Martin began humbly, born simply as Martin, the priest of the chapel of Akatosh in the city of Kavach. Of more particular note, however, was his youthful practicing of the foul art of Daedra worship. Yes, dear reader, 'tis true, your eyes do not deceive you. St. Martin worshipped the infernal Daedra. Let this not dissuade you from your reverence of him, however, for this was but a fleeting portion of his life, a dark path that he soon abandoned in pursuit of nobler gods and eventually a much nobler cause. For it must be said, dear friend, that the city of Kavach did fall under dreadful Daedric siege. The Oblivion crisis, sweeping across all Tamriel, did not spare St. Martin's home from its devastation. No special pardon was granted to this bustling metropolis merely due to its most extraordinary inhabitant. Yet, amidst the chaos, St. Martin Septim did not falter. He led numerous civilians to safety in the chapel, barricading themselves within, securing them brief sanctuary from the Daedric horde. And it was here, dear friend, that Martin Septim was discovered by the fabled champion of Cyrodiil, and informed that he was the son of Emperor Uriel Septim VII, and therefore the last true heir to the Ruby Throne, and by extension, the Empire itself. And so, dear friend, Martin Septim rode with the champion of Cyrodiil to the fabled Blades fortress of Cloud Ruler Temple to begin their holy war against the vile Daedric prince Mehrunes Dagon and his wicked mortal servants, the mythic Dawn cult. And 'tis true also, friend, that St. Martin, along with the champion of Cyrodiil, designed and executed a great many schemes that led the cult to falter. Most notable among them, the Battle of Bruma, in which the mythic Dawn were lured into opening a great gate, a particularly powerful Oblivion gate, to aid in their assault of the city, enabling the champion of Cyrodiil, Martin's greatest agent, to secure a great sigil stone, an artifact of immense power needed for Martin's plan. The champion of Cyrodiil rushed into the gate as Martin stalwartly slaughtered countless Daedra on the battlefield. And as the champion of Cyrodiil emerged from the now ruined Oblivion portal with the great sigil stone in hand, it became clear to the world that Martin Septim was the true heir to the Ruby Throne, and the champion of Cyrodiil a true hero to the world. And so it was that Martin Septim, employing the power of the great sigil stone and destroying numerous other infernal Daedric artifacts, opened a portal to the false paradise created by Mankar Cameron, the leader of the mythic Dawn cult, and the champion of Cyrodiil entered, and Mankar Cameron was slain with his own idolatrous and fetid home, and the leader of the cult lay there, lifeless. And it was so that Martin rode with the champion from Cloud Ruler Temple to the Temple of the One in the Imperial City to light the dragon fires and restore the ward between Tamriel and the vile hosts of Oblivion. And it was indeed, so that Mehrunes Dagon, in a final attempt to corrupt and destroy the world, manifested within the city itself. Martin Septim then, faced with the realization that it was too late to light the dragon fires by conventional means, made a quick, bold, and just decision. And yes, dear friends, he took the Amulet of Kings and sundered it, transforming himself into a flaming, holy, dragon-like avatar of Akatosh. And it was here that Martin Septim, in this bold and divine form, slew the manifestation of the wretched prince and ended the Oblivion crisis. And Martin then rested for all eternity, and his avatar turned to stone and became a statue in the Temple of the One. And all Tamriel was saved from corruption, and Martin rose to sainthood. The Scripture of St. Martin, Volume 2, Teachings of the Church. A text written on behalf of the Church of St. Martin by the High Priest Neremus Agresian. Forward. I bid you humble welcome, dear reader, to the second and final volume of the Scripture of St. Martin. The Scripture of St. Martin is divided into two distinct volumes. Volume 1, The Life of St. Martin, and Volume 2, Teachings of the Church. I bid you study each of these separate portions of the text carefully to aid you in the spiritual journey upon which you are about to embark. This, the second volume, is critically important as it enables the reader to explore the lessons that can be learned from the life of St. Martin, described in the previous volume, and how they might apply to their own lives. I thank and commend you for your interest in the teachings of St. Martin. High Priest Neremus Agresian. The Sainthood of Martin Septim. The key reasons for Martin Septim's sainthood are founded in his rise from humble beginnings to sainthood, and are manifest as so in his three qualities. The first quality, turning from the dark path of Daedra worship to the noble path of serving the divines. The second quality, embarking upon a great and terrible quest for the good of the world. The third quality, selflessness and self-sacrifice. St. Martin's lessons in everyday life. The teachings of the Church of St. Martin are many, yet they are also three, for they are founded in the principles of embodying his three qualities. Translated from the phrasing specific to Martin Septim's personal accomplishments, they become our three qualities that we must strive to achieve, and they are thus. The first quality, self-improvement, rising from low to high status, turning away from dark paths in favor of pure paths. The second quality, boldness and bravery, willingness and ability to act to make genuine, positive change for yourself, for those around you, or for the good of all. The third quality, the primary quality, finds a place unchanged in both his three qualities and our three qualities that we must strive to achieve, and once again it is thus. The third quality, selflessness and self-sacrifice. The lessons that can be derived from our three qualities that we must strive to achieve are innumerable and ever-changing. They are also near formless and deeply malleable, for they change shape in their application to different circumstances, problems, and, indeed, different children of the flock. They might mean abandoning vile and wicked worship and turning to the true divines. They may mean rising to the needs of your local community, or they may mean rising from a life of poverty to a life of comfort. This is the power of St. Martin and his holy word. Yet the importance of balancing these various qualities must not be understated, for each of these qualities may become vile when taken to excess and left unbalanced by other qualities. For instance, the first quality, when employed in rising from poverty to wealth, may transform its wielder without the third quality into a greedy, gluttonous, and selfish cretin, unaware and uncaring of the plight of those below them, and unwilling to contribute to the society within which they reside. It is within this balance that the most challenging portion of the teachings of the Church of Martin Septim are to be found. However, I trust that you, dear reader, are up to the challenge, and it is upon these teachings that I leave you to consider how they might best apply to your life and your situation. For further information, I encourage you to meet with me at the Cathedral of St. Martin within the city of Bruma, for I remain Neremus Agresian, the High Priest of the Church of St. Martin.